Good evening, everybody. Today, in this waste management workshop, we have few delegates and maybe some of them would join over a period of time. So we would like to welcome those who are with us. We're going to talk about waste management. So what you see in front of me, generally when you see a presentation, you see people with beautiful flowers kept in front of us because they love the flowers. But we as a team, we love to see vast flowers, but we want to grow them with our own hands. So we love our waste. You know, waste is very important for us and we need to learn to manage it. So in our presentation, we make them a part of our team, the waste which we produce in our daily work. What is a waste? Some people call waste as trash, some call it as garbage or as rubbish. Different people give different names to the waste. Now, what is actually a waste? Waste is something which you don't want or which is unusable material, which can be produced both by humans and by animals. We can produce some waste, our animals, our pet animals, or the wild animals, they can produce some waste. Waste can be again in the form of solid, liquid, or gas. What we need to understand here is that this waste which we are talking about can cause many problems to us. When I say about problems, there could be problems like environmental problems. We see when we go to beaches, we hope that when we go to a beach, we'll see a beautiful sight, but we see a lot of garbage around our beaches. We try to see that these garbage, which is lying on the beaches, is impacting the aquatic life, the wild life which grows in the water, the plants, the animals. So it has a big environmental problem. It also has a lot of health problems. The waste which is all around us can cause many infections to us, can also cause sometimes breathing problems, which can lead to severe lung infections. Besides environmental health problems, even if we don't understand, but it can have a social impact on us also. If we see a lot of waste around us, we can get into depressions, where mood swings can happen to us. And also, we cannot forget about one more problem which can cause is the economic problem. When we produce a lot of waste and we don't manage it, the government or another communities have to take care of it. And it has an impact on the economy of our community or of our government. So we need to understand that waste can cause many problems to us. Now that we are talking about the problems which are caused by the waste, we have few more important ones which we cannot ignore. For example, the ones which is pollution. There's pollution, then we have diseases. You know that you're all been students. You have learned that many diseases are caused by dirt, by waste, if it is not managed properly. Then also there can be many bad odors which come if the waste is not disposed of properly. When you drive on a highway or you walk around a garbage, if the garbage box, if you see the garbage is lying outside, you can get a bad smell. This is because the garbage is not managed properly. Then other problems could be our government or we ourselves try to build beautiful houses. I'm sure you all have seen beautiful houses. But if we don't manage the garbage around it, you can impact the aesthetic look of those beautiful buildings. So if you don't dispose the garbage well, also what happens is when you, me, and a house, Relin, you also would know, Ishmit, you would know, when you produce garbage, it's taken by the garbage vehicles which come around our houses. Okay, they come and take the garbage and they have to dispose it out at a proper place. So that land place where they dispose of the garbage is called a landfill. There's a cost of that land. There's a cost of getting all the garbage from your house to that landfill. So there's a cost impact. And also at the end, we can say that when we are producing more waste, what we're actually doing is we're using the resources which are there in our earth, we are depleting it. These are the problems which we can think of with the waste. But there are many more problems, but generally we have covered them all. So what we can do, what role do we play as a human being? Every individual, whether it's a small child or a housewife or a corporate player or a very big minister, everybody has a role to play in waste management. We are all superheroes, and we can be bigger superheroes in managing our waste. So what is the challenge we as a superhero face? The biggest challenge which we face is sustainability. We are living a comfortable life today. We want to make sure that our next generation also has a beautiful life. We want to make sure that we're not compromising on the life of our future generations. So what we can do, we need to understand that the resources which we have on our earth are limited. When I talk about resources, I'm talking about the trees, the oil, and underground resources which we have, they're all limited. So whenever we are going to make a house, or we own a car, or we buy a computer, we need to understand that we are using the resources which are there on our earth. So whenever I buy a new computer, I need to make sure that the old computer is put into proper use. It does not go as a waste or a garbage. It could be recycled. Maybe some part of my computer can be recycled. What we are going to give to our next generation is a gift. You love your family, you love your kids, we love our next generation. So we want to gift them something so that they can lead a good life. So the best gift which we can give to our next generation is maintain our resources. As we said, we have limited resources. So we want to maintain it, save it, so that our next generation, the people in our future, can enjoy our life as much as we are today enjoying. Now, when again, we need to drill more into why waste management. We understood the problem of waste, but we cannot reduce. You eat food every day. Food is cooked in our houses every day. So we produce waste. We eat an apple, we create a waste. We eat an egg, we create a waste. We drink a coffee or a tea, we drink a waste. So everything we do in our daily life, we create waste. We make rice, we boil pasta, we boil rice, we create waste. So what we need to do is we need to manage those waste properly, so that our planet is sustainable life. We want to protect our earth because it has limited resources. What we need to understand that these wastes which you see on my table are called organic waste. But these are not the only waste which we have in our daily lives. There are more than this. We have paper waste. We go to school, we go to colleges, we produce waste there. Then we have glass waste. We drink juices, we buy grocery, we have a lot of waste from the glass. Then we have electronic waste, our old mobiles, our televisions, laptops, the charging wires. These are all coming under electronic waste. Then we have plastic waste. This is very common because whenever we leave house, sometimes we forget to carry our own bottle. We just go out and we find it very convenient to buy a 1 dirham, 2 dirham bottle and drink. But we don't understand that each bottle of water which we drink creates waste. So we have to make a deliberate effort to reduce this plastic waste. Another kind of waste which we see is the metal waste. Means the metal, the cans, or even if you do any construction, you go to a construction site, you see a lot of metal waste around. Now in this workshop, unfortunately, because of time limitation, we cannot talk about all the kind of waste. We are only going to talk about the organic waste, our best friend, which we have with us. The waste from our kitchen, our basic need, food. So this is first waste which we are going to address. What we need to understand here is these waste, which is there in front of me, is called organic waste. Any waste which is produced from plant or animal is called an organic waste. Organic waste that degrades, it can be degraded into a carbon dioxide, into methane. So this is called biodegradable. If I throw a plastic on a ground or in an open area, even if I walk, after 10 years, I would be able to see a plastic still lying there. But if I put waste like this, after a few months, you would see that it evaporates. It does not evaporate. It does not vanish. Nobody has picked it up, but it is biodegraded. Okay, so but what happens is when these organic waste gets decomposed, and if they're not properly taken care, they produce a gas which is called methane. Now, what is an organic waste? Any kind of green waste, any kind of fruit, vegetable which we eat creates green waste. The food waste would be when you eat a bread. Sometimes we don't eat the sides of the bread, so we throw it off. Sometimes we have rice, cooked rice, we don't eat full, we throw. These are all covering under food waste, which are organic. Then we have food trash, wood trash, which is produced from carpenters or carpenter work, or from trees which we cut, we get wood trash. Of course, the eggshells, we all like to eat proteins, so we have eggshells. Also, when you do maintain a garden, or even if you have one plant at home, you get some extra leaves which you pluck, okay? Or when you have a garden, you get lots of leaves on the ground. These are all kind of organic waste, and each one of them are very important to us. So what we need to understand is, we need to manage this organic waste. The reason is that if we don't manage them properly and we take it in the garbage guy takes it and puts it in the landfills. So when they try to dispose it off, there is a process which happens, which is called anaerobically. Anaerobic reaction is a reaction where oxygen is not present. So when oxygen is not present and they decompose it, it produces a gas called methane. Believe me, we have been studying from childhood that carbon dioxide gas is harmful for us. But this methane, which would be produced if we do not manage the organic waste well, is 20 times more harmful than the carbon dioxide. This is called methane. So what we need to understand that when we will recycle them, when we'll dispose it off in a proper manner, it not only reduces the production of methane gas or the greenhouse gas, but it also conserves its energies. So we're getting two benefits by managing organic waste. So we also need to understand here is, when we talk about composting, anything which comes from our kitchen, except for the meat products, because they take time to decompose, plus even if you're trying to composting them, they attract cats and dogs, so they will come and spread it out, and it is not healthy to decompose them. Besides that, anything you cook which has peel, the bananas are best for the plants, the banana peels are the best for the plants, the vegetable peels, onion, we eat onion and potato almost every day. We cut onion, potato, apples, eggshells, your rice water, your tea, coffee tea beans, all can be composed into a useful thing. So compost, I've been talking about composting for the last few minutes. Now, what is composting? So composting means this same organic material, if we put it into an environment which is oxygen rich. So what it would happen is, it would facilitate the process to emit healthier gases or make into a product which is very useful to us, which is a compost. Now, besides this, what else can we add to this? Anything which is coming from a yard, which means when some people cut grasses, the grass cuttings or the tea leaves which we have here, which are fallen from the dry leaves, can all be mixed together and a compost can be produced in our balcony or in our houses. So when you add these leaves, dry leaves, to mix it with our kitchen waste, what happens is it increases the decomposition process, means it fastens up. Also the odor which it would be producing if you don't add these leaves would be reduced. Otherwise, in the process of decomposition, sometimes you would face a bad odor, but in case you add these things, the odor would be reduced. What next? So what is the composting process? In the composting process, what we do is we make a pile of compost. We mix all these three things, which I have in front of me, and we put water from time to time. And oxygen, because we are putting these, oxygen automatically goes inside it. After some time, microorganisms get attracted. Some of the microorganisms may be visible to us from eyes. Some are very small, tiny, which we cannot see. Some of the organisms which help in the decompositions are your earthworm. But otherwise, even if you're not able to see something, but you will see the process happens. So when we add these things, we provide water and oxygen, it comes, microorganisms are attracted. In this process, more water is produced, carbon dioxide is produced, and sometimes if you go around that area, you will feel a heat because heat is produced in this process. This water which comes out of this process can also be diluted and used in our plants. Some cases you would get a bad odor for a period of time. So when you will keep them in the compost pile, and there are many centers which do this, we don't have to always do it in a house. We can give it to a company, and we also try to collect and are trying to make our own compost and share it back with the people. It can form, what it gets as an end is a compost, which is called a black gold. For a farmer, the compost is a black gold. So what we can do with this compost? So we can get many useful things. If I have a small garden, I can use it in my garden. If I have, otherwise what the farmers do, they use chemical fertilizers because plant also needs food. So the soil, if we keep growing plants continuously on a particular part of land, the fertilizers are all consumed by the old plants. So when I plant a new plant, what happens is there are no fertilizers, no food left for the new plant. So what the farmer does is he gives fertilizers. So when we put compost, it is kind of a natural fertilizer. We don't need to add for chemicals. So the compost which is produced in this process can be shared with farms, can be used in individual household as a fertilizers. Also, this is more organic. You know what you're putting into your soil. So the agriculture crops which we get would produce higher yield than the chemicals or the fertilizers which we are using. The very big problem our world is facing today is of deforestation. The forests are getting extinct. There are less forests. So if you will use this process, you're actually aiding in reforestation. You would see new trees would come up. The wetland restoration. And also every area has a habitat, a kind of worms, a kind of birds which live in an area. So when you use this composting, you're actually revitalizing the habitat. You're attracting them back because you are giving them a good kind of soil which they like to live in. So these are the benefits. Also, what we need to do is the soil get hazardous waste. Some people might just throw something bad on your, some petrol is there, some gas is there. Somebody may just go and do a barbecue and then maybe unhealthy things have fallen there, so contaminated things. So when you put this compost in your soil, it repairs the soil in a very cost-effective manner. Otherwise, we have to use technologies or we have to use many other methods which can bring the soil nutrients back. So this is a very cheap method of bringing water and air pollution back and bringing the soil to a good quality. Another important thing is it retains water. So you don't, this kind of soil which you produce, as I said, it is called black gold. It retains the soil water. So you don't need to water it. So this will save your water. And at the end, we would say that it produces carbon sequestration. This is what process is. You know that any kind of plants, when we teach our children also, we know that they need carbon dioxide, they need sunlight, they need water for growth. So carbon dioxide is limited. But what is carbon sequestration is manure. It's like becomes a bank for carbon. It saves it for a longer period of time and it can give carbon to the plants for a longer period of time. This is very important property of composts. So we have understood that if we dispose of our waste properly, we can get many benefits out of it. And at the same time, we would have a satisfaction also, and a feeling that we are creating less waste. Anything anybody want to add, please? We have more guests here. Abhilasha, you want to add something, please? You want to say something, or you have a comment at this point of time? Welcome to the webinar. But you have anything to add, Abhilasha? We would like to welcome you all who joined us late. Meher, Rahul, Bhavna. So
thank you so much, ma'am.
Sorry?
I heard my name, so I just...
You want to add something at this point of time, please?
No, no, thank you. We're just engrossed listening to you. It's very, very, very interesting. Thank you.
So we need to understand that the things which we produce on an everyday base can actually contribute so much. Of course, we need to manage plastics and glass, but that's a bigger process. First, as a housewife, as a mother, as a lady, as a student, even an entrepreneur, or as a big technology expert, even if I am working in a software industry, I am eating food on a daily basis. Abhilasha, you want to add something here, please?
Just a question. We are in school. In fact, some of my colleagues are also here.
Yeah.
And we would like to start a composting unit in our school.
Yes, we can help you do that.
So,
Which school are you in, dear?
We are in Abu Dhabi, Shining Star International School, Abu Dhabi.
Okay, we are also in Abu Dhabi, and we are supporting many of the schools. So I'll just give you the number of my team. You can just message her, or she will get in touch with you.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much.
And then this will be very nice. The children can, whenever they bring fruits to school, at least they don't finish their tiffin box, they can just put the rest there. So actually, or you can encourage them to bring from home.
So we had this before the COVID. Our children were bringing organic waste from home.
Okay.
And we started a very small composting unit, but then COVID came, and then we were unable to continue. And then since then it is now a little slow in picking up.
No, but we would, if you want, we can create an awareness, and we can help you to do it.
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you.
So we'll get in touch. Very happy to do that. Yeah, thank you, Abhilasha. But we'll get in touch with you. I'll just give my number and my colleague's number to you just after we finish up, and then we would like to get in touch with you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Abhilasha. Yeah. So that's what we don't understand, and we want to tell the children this is a gift, best gift which we can give. If we teach our children about composting or waste management, we are actually giving them better. So it's not only that you are producing something called, which is not seen. When some people think that composting means you are just hiding it from your view. Actually, we are not hiding it from our view. We are making sure that we get the best use out of it. So what happens is we can show this to the children that every time we eat an apple, it comes from a tree. So when we finish eating an apple, what we actually only need to do is, instead of putting in a normal garbage, if you put it in a dustbin, which is used for composting. And as I said, some people deliberately add earthworms to it. But even if we don't do that, even if we don't add earthworms, automatically microorganisms are attracted to it, and it starts breaking down. The heat is produced, and there's a process of decomposition which takes place. They say it takes some time, and after some time, the same manure converts into your soil. It looks exactly like soil. We can come and show you samples as well. And this can be again as a manure to the tree. This cycle can be continued. And this is composting, as simple as that. So we want everyone to understand this. This is what, as a company, we are working on. And schools, thank you, Abhilasha, for giving us an opportunity. We would be very happy to come and work with you, with your school students. Okay. So anybody has any questions, or I'm just putting our numbers. This was just an introduction, but anytime you want us to do live presentations or webinars, we are ready to do. My colleague Vidhu or my number Gaganpreet, we are there. So we still have 5 minutes. If you have any questions or then please feel free to let us know. Any one of you?
Do you do these webinars for like companies as well? Like not just maybe school children, but a bit just employees and companies?
Yes, in fact, thank you, Shmeet, for your question. Actually, what we're doing is we're actually tying up with Masdar also. So it's a sustainable company, but still they have never thought about what does, because they're when they bring lunch or when they bring dinner or when they order food or when they eat fruits, what to do with the remaining one. So we are setting up one in Masdar itself for Masdar as a company. So because they look at bigger picture, but we are trying to work with them as well. Yeah. Thank you, Shmeet. But yes, we work with companies as well. Schools and companies are bigger targets for us. Yeah. Anybody else would like to share something or ask questions, please? So Shmeet, my colleague would take your number, and if you can take her number, Vidhu, and she can get in touch with you. Abhilasha, if you don't mind, can you put your number in the chat group, please, in the chat?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. That's so nice, Abhilasha, you use it in coffee. Yeah, even when I go to any coffee shop, I ask them, give me coffee waste. Actually, they start laughing. But then I said, no. So they'll ask me, you want to make a coffee scrub? I said, no, not scrub. I want it for my plants. And you know, it smells also very nice. So yeah, that's a very good thing.
I got into this habit where now I started becoming irritating with it because this has become so part of your everyday routine that when you working in the kitchen and all your organic waste,
yeah,
I just can't throw it in the dustbin. And now I don't have space in my terrace to make any more compost. So,
I know, but that's what we are there. We are actually working on a system where we will pick it up also from people and actually use it for something.
I tied up with the restaurant on my way back from school. So this fellow, he would in fact give me 4-5 bags, since the coffee shop came to know. So he used to keep that the coffee waste, and he would pack it in these in their own bags, and he would give me. So that really helped. Nice. And I've got my plants, which I'm using my own homemade soil at home.
That's so nice. And even if you get one tomato out of that, you feel so good because you know you're feeding your family with organic food.
Yeah. So we want to do that in the
rice
school
water.
as well.
When we boil rice or we wash rice, this is very good for plants. Yeah. So we can use pasta, boil, dal. We wash dals every day. So instead of putting it down the drains, we can use this water to water our plants also.
And this is something we want our children to learn, Our kids over here, most of them live in high-rise buildings and they don't get that experience of having a garden or growing their own plants. So I keep telling my children that you can talk to your what do you call them, Nathur, and you can take a little space in the terrace on the roof. Yes. And just have a small little something that you can get a feel of gardening. And it's very important. It's a skill that the children should learn. Yeah, I would want all our children to learn gardening.
We don't have a place at home. So we tell them you pick it in a packet. When you go down to the garden, you go to parks, you go to garden. So even if I have a banana leaf at home and I don't have place to compost, I can just tear it and put it in when I go to the park, I'll just put it in one of the plants. So actually I'm giving him food. So you don't need to compost it also. Sometimes even just putting this banana leaf on a plant may add value to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Abhilasha, for your all contribution. And I think we are getting close to closure time. So we will get in touch with you all. Abhilasha, thanks for your time, and all of you for your time and participation. Ishmeet, again, Vidhu, and I know Vivo, I can't read Ralan, who she's with us. Azruddin Sheikh, thank you for your message. Meher, Bhavna, Rahul, we'd like to thank you all. And again, as we said, please get in touch with us. We are here to just share knowledge. All of us already know this thing, but we want to still make sure that we are all there to understand this. Thank you so much. So we would like to close now the webinar. Thank you so much for your time and participation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
I would like to thank the Connect Nature Connect over here who led us to this workshop.
Yes.
To this session.
Thank you, Connect Nature, to connect with all of us, the like-minded people. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.